leave the bleach on too long or it's not too high of a developer. But it's dead already, so it's not like it's
a perfect tone. Like,
yeah. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay, so it is.
I actually had to redo the tone I had.
05.
No, the tone, like, it's perfect. Like, it's all, like, literally perfect.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, because when I first did it, it looked gray, which was
Interesting.
not the vibe.
But considering that it's 05, let's get started with the workshop. So, welcome everyone to our very, what's the name? We're very final. That doesn't sound very right? To our final.
Our last
workshop of the semester. Yeah. Which is contributing to Gnome. At this point, you know Git, GitHub. Last session, you learned about GTK. So all of that should help you a lot with such projects. And the reason this workshop exists is because there's one thing with like knowing things technically, but there's another thing with like seeing how actual like big projects are structured. So hopefully this stuff that you learn here are not going to be like applicable to only GNOME, but a lot of the other big open source projects. So obviously at this point, a lot of you know what GNOME is, but just to reiterate, GNOME is basically a project that aims to quote unquote create a computing platform for use by the general public that is composed entirely of free software, right? So it aims to be as easy as possible, as intuitive as possible to use, and so on, right? So it was started in 1997, and the reason is kind of funny. It was because KDE used Qt, which at the time was a proprietary framework. But we all know that Qt eventually became open source, so now you have both Qt and then GTK. Right, so their main selling point here was that they used GTK as opposed to Qt, which was proprietary. So their biggest sponsor is Red Hat. So if you actually go and like start looking into who makes contributions and look at their profile, you'll notice that a lot of them are actually Red Hat software engineers, which was something that I noticed, but I didn't know it was because Red Hat sponsors them so much. And Firefox crashes. But now we're very good at the recovery phase, so hopefully it's not going to take too long to get back on track. Yeah, okay. So it used to be part of the GNU project, which is what gives you a lot of the utilities that you use on a daily basis, but not anymore. They got too big, so they merged off. And they have a lot of projects, but you can basically summarize them into these. There's obviously the GNOME shell, which we all know and love, which is what I'm using, but Matt doesn't like it.
I do not.
There's GTK and glib, which are frameworks for developing apps that, for Linux, there's GTK, which is, again, a widget library, as a lot of you know from the last workshop. There's Mutter, which is a window manager, and a Wayland compositor, or an X11 like display set. Yeah, window manager, depending on what you're using. There's Cantarell, which is a font. So this is on the design side. And there's a whole lot of apps. So we all know that GNOME likes to have this suite of apps for their ecosystem. But just to show you how many they have, this is a full list of GNOME and GNOME Circle apps, which you can contribute to. Going back to the slideshow. Okay, so what types of contributions do they accept? Of course, there's code. But because this is a very big and international project, a huge number of contributions are actually translations. So if you speak a weird language, or if you speak a niche, or if you find a piece of software that, hey, hasn't been translated to Spanish yet, or any other language, you could start with that. There's design. GNOME is actually pretty active in terms of design because they always want to make sure that, as I said, everything is as easy to use as possible. So if you have some UI UX experience, maybe that's a part that you could look into. There's obviously documentation, which is a bit more boring, but I know if you want to flex your technical writing skills, this could be for you. But I mean, CS majors don't usually do this stuff.
We need technical writers.
Yeah. And there's the engagement part, which, I mean, it's there, but I wouldn't recommend it much for the resume. So here's the source. So GNOME actually does offer a membership. So if you're a contributor that has made a non-trivial contribution, you can apply and get your own gnome.org email address. And if you have that, it's going to look ultra cool. So obviously, there are other perks, such as if you want to run for the elections of GNOME's board of directors and like actually have a say in what like the next major revision of GNOME is going to look like, you first have to be a member. So you can suggest stuff, and basically you're going to have much bigger of an influence, right? So as I said, you have to make a non-trivial contribution, and obviously the community must approve of you. So be nice, and over time maybe you can become a member and have a say in that stuff. So yes.
Are you a member?
No.
No.
No, I mean, you need like at least multiple, not at least, but you have to be very active, and you have to like maybe make a new app or something, like something major, Like the bug fixes and tackling issues is probably not what they're looking for. So GNOME for communication, right? Because a big part of these big open source projects is, communicating with each other, right? So what's going on? This broke, how to fix this? What's the best practices for example, formatting your code and that sort of thing? All of that you can just literally ask on their matrix network. So this is probably something new to you. The matrix network is essentially a decentralized messaging platform. So imagine it like if Discord was not owned by one company, and instead like all companies had their own server, and they hosted an instance, and then users would connect to that instance and then talk to the other servers and that sort of thing, right? So just know that it's a messaging platform, and the rest you don't have to worry about it right now. So another thing that's cool about Matrix is that there is no one single client, right? So with Discord, if you want to send Discord messages, you have to install the Discord app, right? But because Matrix is decentralized, you do actually have a selection of clients to choose from. So you know how you can choose your browser to be Firefox or Chrome or whatever to access the same website? This is like kind of the same. I personally recommend Element, which is probably arguably the best one. And if you want, you can start installing Element right now, because you're probably going to use it in the next slide. The cool thing with Element is that it has a web app, a Windows app, a Mac OS app, and a Linux app, of course, and Android and iOS clients. So you can like stay up to date with the GNOME community on your phone. This isn't really something that the other clients that I know of provide, so that's why I really recommend it. There's an alternative, which is like the runner-up. There's another client called Fractal, which is built by GNOME. So if you really want to show that GNOME pride, you can use GNOME Fractal to chat on GNOME's matrix channels and like that sort of thing, right? So that's an option, but the only problem is that it's only available for Linux. So if you want to get set up right now, I suggest that you go to this link. They have a very nice setup guide. You can follow and join their channels. Then if you want to, like, if you know a specific project, so the way this works is that every project of GNOME has its own channel, right? You know how Discord channels work in a server? So with Matrix, with GNOME's Matrix servers, they have, for example, there might be a channel for the GNOME calculator, there might be another one for the GNOME clocks app, there might be another one for GNOME terminal, so on and so forth. So obviously you want to keep the conversations in their respective channel. So that's a nice list, and in case there's a project that you can't find here, you can use their older list, which is right here. So for this, I'm going to give you, let's see, I think 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, no, let's be exact here. Let's do 10 minutes max. If you guys finish earlier, good for you. And you can go read the past chats. So yeah, we'll be walking around, help you guys out. Leave max. Good.
Yeah, I'm just verifying my. Oh no, I think I lost access to.
What's your name?
Right on.
With an H?
It's an A.
Okay. I know. It seems like whenever I connect to this display and start recording with OBS and have a presentation from Google Slides running, it crashes. I know there's a very specific
Oh, thank God I have my.
combination of circumstances that causes it. So yeah. You
Oh,
have it.
thank God.
What are you supposed to download? What is it called?
The recommended client is, oh my God, this is the wrong slide. But it's called Element. So it's right here. Yeah, it has a pretty nice app on it.
Wait, isn't it in like it should be in here, right? Like the little. It has
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
little.
So
this
if you're on Linux, you can use your package manager, which is like that good way to install it. So you can open your terminal.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
The brand new one from.
yeah,
From my last.
the default one. Terminal.
What do you use as your home server? Do you use
Like
do you use
specs.
matrix.org? No, for
Yeah,
your
I
home
use
server
Matrix
for
though.
Matrix. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So GNOME does offer you to make your account using your @gnome.org email, but none of us has a GNOME membership, so you just use Matrix.
Yeah.
So you can use with Ubuntu, since your package manager is apt, just do sudo apt and then install. And then I think you can just do element. And then see if that works. If not, okay.
That's
fine.
because I need to like.
Don't. Okay, let's not use package management. Open up the software app.
Well, it's because I'm not in the like.
No, this is just a known issue with fresh Ubuntu installs. You have to just. There's a very simple fix to it, but I mean, it takes you.
It's because the other one I had, I'm pretty sure I did all this. Like,
Yeah.
I lost it.
So the software app basically uses
It's
flat.
in here, right?
Is there is GNOME's home? Oh yeah, the GNOME's home's on matrix.org anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just look at it in here.
Yeah. And if that's giving you problems, it also has a macOS client if you want to have that here.
It's because I use Nitro Chat as my home server.
I'm still
So.
trying to figure out that USB thing. No, like I have to get it.
Step by step. Just need to do it. Okay, I'm hoping it's there. It should be there. If it's not, I'd be very disappointed in Ubuntu. It's fine. It just takes time.
What the loads?
Because for some reason,
It's
Ubuntu in VMs likes to.
See, this is why I'm trying to get it to the because I don't like the way I have my other one.
The search is not top. Give it some time.
Okay.
Ubuntu software doesn't make it load fast. I know what Ubuntu does with their software because, like the default GNOME software is pretty quick to load
Oh,
search results. But
You know why? It's because they have to search. It depends on what repositories it's searching. So the Ubuntu one searches their repositories, which are slow as hell.
yeah, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It should be pretty easy to.
It has to do with their package manager, the
App.
apt. It's because it uses
It's
what's the name? Barb.
this is
Okay. Let's try something. Go into your apps and search for software because I think now there's two software apps.
what
So there's okay, no, okay, it's the same thing.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna fix this like. Oh, that like pseudo.
You could,
thing.
yeah, you
Yeah.
could try fixing the sudoers
Yeah,
thing.
I'm gonna fix the pseudo thing. I'm sure
Okay.
that'd be quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just have to look up how to do it.
Yeah, you can use your real, actual OS. Okay,
Do they have subchannels or just their?
I did the first one. I'm trying to do the second one now. But it's
Okay, you're on Mint though. Doesn't Mint have a different package manager?
Mint uses. I think Mint uses apt. I thought.
that's what I thought it did.
Okay, doesn't it? What does it say?
I ended up well I didn't copy the whole thing,
Okay.
that's why. So
I'll go restart Firefox.
there we go.
Yeah, it uses apt.
Yeah. It's what, based on Debian?
Debian based.
Debian.
Yeah.
Debian.
Anything Debian based uses apt. Or Debian. So does it say it's not like available on the repository?
It says unable to resolve host address.
But apt didn't work, right?
No, it worked when I was installing, when I did the first one here. So app does work. I
But-
think it's happening.
What's the error?
Okay,
Yeah,
so if it works, why doesn't it install?
Well, it's because I'm having the issue with the Wi-Fi again. It worked for a bit, but now it doesn't.
Well, aren't you connected?
Well, that's the thing that
You
I.
want to use my hotspot?
That was the thing I put on the Q&A like a week or so ago. Is that like it would
Okay,
just
it's alive again.
low as fuck. Yeah, that's the other thing too. It doesn't want to type anything unless it's like actually connected to the Wi-Fi.
What? Why is it? Why is it like that? That is weird.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, why do you have neofetch as the first
Because he's
command?
trying to be
'Cause
cool like me.
I get it, but I mean, at some point you want to do stuff.
I don't know. My neofetch is fast enough usually that it only
Okay,
takes.
I
like a second.
might need to turn
try
on.
to the apt install
I
element.
wanna,
Because I'm pretty sure it's on that.
I wanna see something.
That's the one thing.
Oh my
that,
god.
well, I don't think it's actually connected. But it's connected, but it's not like pinging to it. Because you see, it's like no download, no upload. Oh. This is the issue I was having before, and I was like, oh, here's the.
Because it's funny, I
command
used
to
your
do it.
solution and then my thing got fixed.
Well, the thing is that I wonder if it only fixes that until you like shut it down and then restart it. Maybe.
Because the thing is, if it, I'll talk to you later about
Okay.
this. Because
Okay, I think I know what the issue is. You, when you're moving hotspots or when you're moving around campus, you got to make sure that you disconnect your computer because your
I'll leave it
laptop's.
stationary though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say because it seems like your laptop's having issues transferring APs.
Yeah, but I would be in like the CS lounge, for example, and then like after 2 minutes, it would just like disconnect
So
again.
you could go to that.
I think it's just named Element if I remember right. But
Okay, you're
And then we'll locate package.
Yeah.
okay. No,
So now you should be able to. Okay, you got it going. So you make your account? Okay.
List, yes, they do. Awesome, love it.
Cool.
It's yours work or
What?
Yeah, I'm doing
And there's
Is it not in the repositories
You
for
just, like,
Linux
save
Mint?
it.
Oh,
Everything?
I
for
don't
Vim?
think- yeah, I don't
Okay,
think-
colon W should save it. First of all, let me see. Come on, insert mode, now colon W.
Yes, that just takes you to the.
Colon as in shift.
I already did
then
install,
that.
and I tried doing that one.
What?
It's okay.
Is there?
Get it.
No, that's like the
Oh,
actual.
you have to.
It's like.
Oh, this is why I hate these friggin'. This is why I won't use Debian-based fucking
It's because I need to
things.
save it.
Because, so what it's doing, it downloads a key,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
I
It
yes.
saves
Yeah,
that
no, you
key
just need
into
to
the
go.
key ring, and then you have to add a PPA.
And then if you want to quit,
Yeah.
you just do control S.
So this adds a source to your.
Now you're
My
good.
bad. And then I just need to go back into.
That's terrible.
So that's a tilde directory. So tilde is, okay, so So if you did
I'm
SU
assuming
root,
other.
if you want to go back to that, you just exit. Because it's shell
Other,
opens. There you go. SU opens a new shell
what do you call it?
inside the
Distros
current shell
have different
with
ways
that
of
user.
getting packages that aren't
Not
in their repos, and this is by far the worst way to do it.
So the apt install.
No, it's not the worst way to do it. The worst way to do it is downloading a .dev file,
Okay,
but
just
this is the
maybe
second worst
while
way.
you were saving something got you and stuff.
Oh fuck! I think it's having the same issue. I have to put that damn code in again.
Okay, try again.
Try again.
Try
Do
again.
you
Now
have
I'm
power?
gonna watch closely.
Well, see, I turned that off. I thought.
Were the modifications in there?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, well, you need upgrades.
Should I like run terminal?
Yeah, maybe try that.
Actually, no. You know what? Hold on.
There's a shortcut.
I can't
You
let
can
you
control
not
Alt T.
upgrade. This is
It's
it's
gonna-
the PIL for.
Control, yeah. Now you have
What was the power
Control Alt
saving
T is the
again?
shortcut.
So I
Because
don't
they
know
know
what
what
the
it is.
internet uses. Oh, you're using Candy icons.
Okay. Okay.
I think
Let me. Do you want to figure it out?
From what I understood from looking it up is that
It's good
the Wi-Fi chip
learn how to
itself
fix
has like a power saving mode.
right. So the thing is, if your energy saving isn't properly configured, it may.
Okay, I think I'm gonna move on.
I already marked
I don't know about
Alright, fellas, I think that's enough time for now. If in case there's any problems, I can help you out after the session.
So you should have
Right.
it.
But who managed to get into Gnome's, like any Gnome channel? Okay, you got it. Do you guys get it? No? Okay, you're still making the account now. Okay. No worries, no worries. Slides and the recording will be available. Okay, moving on. Now let's talk about how to contribute code. So here's basically the Gnome tech stack that you'll be interacting with if you want to contribute basically any code, right? So obviously, as we talked before about this, they use GTK in almost all their projects. So, and I'll have a link on where to find tutorials for that. But the other thing is that there is no single language they use, right? So I talked about Vala in the last session, which is their own programming language. Some projects use it, some don't. The ones that don't come in these flavors. So you have projects that use GTK with Python. You have projects that use GTK with Vala, which we talked about last session. You have projects which use GTK with C, which is like the official binding for GTK because it's written in C. You have projects written in JavaScript and GTK, and then Rust and GTK. So you'll probably find all of these in your when you start exploring their repositories. But just know that you have an option to like start with something you're more comfortable with. Let's restore session. Come on.
If you use Rust, they have their own dedicated room inside of their matrix. So
Yeah. So you could probably get some dedicated help on that. And for building and running projects, again, some of you are familiar with this, but they use an IDE called Gnome Builder. So the reason that's recommended is because you can actually just clone a repository and then just open Gnome Builder in it and hit this play button. This is going to download all dependencies and build it for you and then run it for you in a single click. So I personally use VS Code to do all the editing and then Gnome Builder just to compile. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. So GNOME uses GitLab to host their repositories, right? Because they want to be as self-hosted as possible, and you can't really self-host GitHub. So GitLab is like the open source version of GitHub, and it can be hosted even on your own computer if you want to have your own thing, right? So that's what they do. So almost all the functionality is identical to GitHub. So for example, if you know how to like make issues, how to make pull requests, how to close issues, merge issues, that sort of thing, like fork repositories, all of that, it's also available in GitLab. So you don't have to like learn a whole new platform, right? It's very similar. The only difference here is that GitLab likes to call pull requests merge requests, which depending on who you ask, it's going to make more sense, right? I personally prefer merge requests because you're merging your code into their stuff instead of them pulling from your stuff. But
Well, I mean, pull request actually makes more sense because you're taking
Okay,
it
see?
from one
See?
repository into another, so it's pulling the code from one repository to
But
the
you're
next.
making the
Pull
request
request.
and you want to push it. I know.
Okay, call it a push request then. Merge request doesn't make sense unless you're merging the entire repository.
Okay.
Anyway.
See, that's the problem. But just know that they call it merge requests. So just to give you kind of a feel of how this looks. Okay, first of all, you can find all of their GitLab on gitlab.gnome.org. So we're gonna take a look right now, and it looks like this. So this is my stuff, but you're gonna probably see something empty, right? You're gonna see just, okay, GNOME and your profile. Obviously, if you make an account, which I'll have you make an account very soon. And that's pretty much it. So you might be wondering, okay, what the hell is going on? I don't see anything. And that's because right now you're not involved with any projects. As you get involved, as you fork something, you're going to see them in your projects, and this is going to start getting populated. So that's basically how GitLab looks, right? And if you don't have this bar on the left, you can just click on this and show it again. Okay, sorry. Click on this, and it's going to appear. Going back to the presentation. So if you want to see all of GNOME's repositories on their GitLab, you just add a /GNOME in all capital. So if we go to that right now, that's going to look like this. So as you can see, they have a whole bunch of projects on their GitLab. So for example, if I search for GNOME's calculator, you're going to see it right here. So you can click on it. You can see that like the structure of GitLab is very similar to GitHub. You have all your files over here. You have your issues up there. You have your merge requests. And that's pretty much all you need for now. But the other functionality is also available. So for example, over here, you can see that GNOME calculator is written in VAW, which, again, I'll show you where to find tutorials for it. But if you want to clone, again, it's pretty simple. You can just go to the main page, click on code over here, and choose SSH or HTTPS. If you're familiar with GitHub, this is going to all be very, very familiar. If you're not, you can let me know. I'll help you out. Okay, going back to the presentation. Okay, any questions so far about how to find these stuff? So again, if you just want to get to their GitLab, just do gitlab.gnome.org. If you want to see all their projects on their GitLab, you just do a /GNOME. Right, so again, if this was GitHub, this would be GitHub, and then this would be the organization, and then the repository, but you know, since it's GNOME's, there aren't many organizations on there. Okay. So now it's your turn. So hopefully, if you've made your Matrix account and have Element and stuff installed, this is the time to now make an account on GNOME's GitLab, so you can actually start contributing, right?
I don't. Oh, go on. I'll tell you.
Okay. So go to that address, make a GitLab account, and don't use your school email because then you'll graduate and then nobody knows you anymore, right? So use your personal email. I'm going to give you 10 minutes for this. Hopefully that's enough. And let me know if you have any questions.
You actually keep your.
You can. Just the
minimum length is 19 characters. Are you fucking kidding me? Generate 14 to 19.
What extension is
Bitwarden.
Oh,
Yeah, love Bitwarden. Saves me a bunch of trouble trying to memorize passwords.
okay. You got it. Cool.
Yeah, I'm still having the issue of the stupid Wi-Fi connection though.
Okay.
And you're having the issue of Firefox.
It's the open source experience.
Yep.
Okay, that's back up. Good. And I don't think they let you use your Google account. You actually have to use your email. So if you do sign in with Google. Oh no. Okay, never mind. I thought you were on GitLab.
Oh, no.
Yeah. For that, use whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay, did it work? Let's see if yours work.
Yeah, I mean, I think I downloaded something else. It says element. Does it look like this? Or just like
It should be green.
yeah. Okay, so I downloaded.
Okay. Yes.
I think I might have
Yes.
just opened up
Yes.
something
That's
else.
right. Got it.
No, yeah, I did it. It's this. It's
We just wait for it to.
this one. It's this. Sudo snap.
Yes.
Install element.
So Snap is another like way to install it, but as long as you have it.
Oh yeah, Snap's another. Snap actually works really well on Ubuntu based.
See, this is what I need in I'm tired. I swear to God, my last one wasn't this slow.
I'm surprised they haven't spun off GIMP yet.
You need spun off GIMP.
GIMP's part of the Gnome umbrella, but it's such a large project. I'm surprised they haven't spun it off.
Let me know if there's any.
At some point.
I guess. But I'm not joking. If you want
Oh,
them
it's
to
even
show
worse
up,
now,
they
oh my
have just
God.
for Linux to just
What?
blast
Oh,
out all the
stupid Wi-Fi issue.
I don't know what
It's like
is going
a
on with
credit
your
at this point.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
If you
Like-
gotta get it now. Good. Okay.
because I don't have that problem with my
But
laptop.
I don't want to
and
use
I'm running
another
Arch,
computer.
Yeah.
so it's not a Linux thing.
Okay, you have.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean,
You're just.
well, even on Windows it didn't have that issue.
No.
It only started having that issue when I went to
To
Linux.
Linux, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be a power thing. That's the only.
I mean,
Yes,
they even did the
because-
code and that worked
I
for
don't
a
think
bit.
they have
and now
much
it's only
security.
working
They just
anymore.
ask about like just
Code that I
a
put
very
on
long sentence.
Discord.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. I'll just be lazy.
I think it's
Yeah.
an OP issue, but it's something.
Did you get GitLab?
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. You managed to take a look at the repository. Oh yeah, you are. You are. Nice. Nice. So check it out. See if there's anything cool you want to contribute.
So
The
it's
service for.
Just taking a little minute.
I'm gonna let it chill.
I highly doubt using
We can resume at like 40. Recording's still going, right? Yeah. Okay. Can I ask for your name again?
Hey,
E-I-R-A.
So,
What's your name? Ashkan. If you want the spelling, I can help you out with my nice Freddy tag.
Still haven't gotten that one.
Still waiting. Yeah, I mean, you'll probably get it on the day of.
you'll get it the final exam day.
Cannot wait.
Yeah. You can have it like as a trophy. I survived.
Yeah.
I liked the video player one. I thought it
Here
was
we go.
really cute.
Yeah.
But-
I like it. It's like so applied. Like you
Yeah.
can actually make stuff. The other classes you like boring
Yeah.
basic programs.
A lot of people didn't like the class though, but I thought it was cool.
All those people were just easy days.
study some of this.
In worst case, you can just you just open up a new tab.
Okay, there it is.
Students.
Yeah.
The URL.
Yes, that should go.
Okay, now try signing in. God damn,
It's so slow. I tried looking into
Holy shit.
Anyway,
making it a little bit quicker.
is it? Oh, fuck, which way is it?
It's not that there's much else.
Sorted. Oh no, I wanted to sort it opposite way. How do you sort it opposite way?
it's weird stuff.
Yeah. I have a laptop that's
Just do it.
yeah. It's installed there.
Okay, you're here. Now you can start looking into projects.
So now we use the watch command. Pulling out all the tricks to turn the fish.
Okay, I think it's a good time to get back on track.
Make it easier.
Okay, so I kind of demonstrated this in the live demo that I just did, but some of you might be used to GitHub where the issues are on top, but if you want to find issues for a project in GitLab, you click on the issues at the top left. So if you go into a specific project repository, you can find all the issues up there. So there's usually a whole lot. Like for the calculators, there's 150, which gives you a nice idea of how nice it is to contribute to niche projects. And yeah, they're usually much easier to fix than like GitHub issues because not as many people contribute to these. So now commit messages. So Gnome kind of does like to keep these things organized because like if they don't, everything's gonna fall apart very quickly considering how many contributors they have. So when you commit, and again, you can always refer back to this, be sure that you follow this format for your commit message, right? So you put a tag, so this could be, I don't know, fix, translation, or like a specific part of the project that you're working on. So for example, if you're on clock, you could say, okay, world clock, and then colon, whatever you did, right there, and then an explanation. And if you're fixing an issue, just do fixes, and then the, what do computer science people call this? Okay, and then bang.
Oh no, hash.
Hashtag.
No, the bang is, oh shit.
Pound.
Yes.
Pound sign.
Hash.
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 Pound.
Hash is bang.
Whatever.
And then a hash symbol with the number of the issue that you fixed. Speaking of things that need fixing,
Should contribute the fix to the Firefox crew.
so that's it, right? So it's pretty self-explanatory. So like you can choose a bunch of things to contribute to, but I recommend starting with an app, right? So I already showed you how to find the projects from the GitLab page, but an easier way to do this is through apps.gnome.org. And the reason I recommend this way over just like mindless scrolling on GitLab is that this is first of all a much nicer looking website, and second of all, once you find an app that looks interesting to you and you want to contribute to, you can just click on it and you get a very comprehensive like contribution guide, right? So this is going to give you a basic like overview of what it is, and then if you're actually interested in contributing, you can click on contribute, and then you have an even better guide on how to contribute. So they're going to like go over how to translate, how to get the latest version, how to like get the nightly builds, which is okay. Nightly builds are builds that are like the most up to date. Like whatever gets committed to main gets built and is posted as a nightly build. So if you want to like work on the latest absolute version to like have all the newest features, you can try installing the nightly build like have an idea of like what's been done already.
Or you can build it yourself.
Yes, or that. But it's there. And the point is that all the instructions are here. So you can see all of that and specific project-related things and both other good practices. So for example, you remember how I told you that, you know, if you want to build and run a project, you can just click the play button in GNOME Builder. See? It's been here as well. So there's some resources for Vala, other useful stuff, but just know that this is a much nicer way to like find projects. Again, just to reiterate, it's apps.gnome.org. You just scroll through the nice interface, pick something, read about it, and if you're interested, click the contribute button over here. Going back to the slides. Another thing that's nice if you're willing, like looking for things to contribute to, is this page. Is this correct? Yes. What is this? Okay. This doesn't look right. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, flip the page.
Okay. So they have a specific page for newcomer projects, but the only problem with this is that I'm not sure when it got updated, because like if you go to it, again, you can check it out always, there's nothing stopping you from doing it, but if you go there, it says that this page is planned for retirement. So I'm not sure how up to date it is, but
if you go to /newcomers, it just redirects you to the welcome.gnome.org.
yeah, they're trying to update stuff. But for the time being, for as long as this is up, maybe this is something you could also look into. The cool thing with this page, though, is that it actually gives you a complexity score. So for example, if you're like, okay, I don't trust in myself with GTK right now, I don't want to mess things up, you can just do a Control F for simple, and then you can check the project complexity section. Okay, so Polari is simple, Maps is simple, Music is simple, Clocks is simple, GTG is simple, and Box is simple, right? So there's simple, there's complex, and there's medium. So this could also be something you could look at. Another cool thing on this page is that they have direct links to their matrix channel. So you can literally click on this and then continue in Element. So my Element is going to launch, and you're going to go directly into the channel. I'm not going to wait for this to load, but hey. Going back on track. Okay, so any questions so far, Pakis? No? Good? Okay. So here are some of the resources I was talking about for Vala and GTK, because I know it's a whole new experience for a lot of you. So the best resource right now is this page. It's developer.gnome.org/documentation. So this is almost everything you need to know to get like at least an average understanding of how GTK works, and if you want to ever add something relatively simple, you should be good with that. So what that looks like, first of all, I have a screenshot over here. For example, this is the guide for adding menus. This thing that you click on the top bar and pops down. If you want to add that, you can see the guide, and it has like guides for every language that GTK officially supports. Right, so remember the 5 languages that I talked about before? So you can find guides for C, Python, JavaScript, Vala, and XML. If you guys attended the previous workshop, you'll know that like UI files are written in XML. So it also has that one. So let me just quickly give you a Okay. Restore session. Okay, I'm going to quickly give you a live demo of this one, because I think it's actually a pretty nice page. So first thing you're going to see is this, and if you're new, the best place to start is in tutorials and then beginner tutorials. So that's going to give you the absolute basics, and then you can start, like when you're done with these, you can close this like drop down and just continue with the actual tutorials. So if you want to make your summer very productive, maybe this could be a way to do that. There's also like the guidelines that I mentioned with like the, if you want them to like more easily accept your contributions, these could also be something for you to look into. I'll talk about this localization very soon, but just know that this is a good reference. Another good resource is that, again, this is, the place that you find the different projects to look into, but the key thing here is that always read the README fully for each project. So I don't think that needs a live demo. So now that you kind of know that resources to contribute code, let's talk about translations in case someone is interested. So translating in big projects has it's a bit more, it has a few more steps than you'd expect, right? So if it's a small project, say if you find something on GitHub, it's as easy as making a fork, cloning it, adding your translations in whatever JSON format they have, and then just opening a pull request. It's a bit more complicated in Gnome because first of all, they support a lot of languages. So if you ever go and say, okay, I want to see if you learn about a new language, like when you're scrolling through Wikipedia, there's a chance that there's already something translated into it on Gnome. Like I've seen some pretty niche stuff, but yeah, let's continue. So there are two important words for you to know if you want to contribute to any open source translation, right? The first one is I18N, and the second one is L10N. So it sounds alien, but I18N is a short version of internationalization. So they just keep the first letter, the last letter, and they just condense the rest into that number of characters. So internationalization is the process by which you make your code translatable. So this could come in the form of using the getText function, which in most of Gnome's projects is just a function called underline, and then your phrase in it. So for example, if you have a button that has, say, hello as its context, instead of just putting quote unquote hello, you put underscore, and then you do a call, and then inside of it you put hello. So this way translators can look at their chart and say, oh, hello corresponds to this. And whenever the user switches, for example, into Spanish, it's going to take the English phrase, which is in the code, and it's going to do a quick lookup and replace it dynamically. So that's basically a good example of internationalization, is making your code translatable, right? Another nice example is the date and time formats, because different countries use different date and time formats, right? So instead of saying, okay, if you want to show the date, take the year and then slap the, take the month, then do the day and then do the year. If you hard code that, it's not going to be very nice. What you have to do instead is to look up the date format of the user and then use the corresponding function to take a day, month, and year and convert it to that. So that's basically internationalization. For different projects, again, as I said, if you go into this page at the top, they're going to have a reference for you to follow. And if you ever get confused, you can just look at the different parts of the same project to see what they've done. Right. Okay, with I18N covered, the next thing is L10N. L10N is localization, right? So you can think of internationalization as making your code ready for translation, and localization is actually going in and translating phrases and data type formats. So for localization, it's pretty easy, and that's pretty much what translators do. They just ensure the local formats, and they translate phrases from English into the local language. So we're going to quickly look into that. So the way GNOME works is that they have translation teams. So there's a team responsible for all the Spanish translations. There's another team for all the French translations, and so on and so forth. Right. So each translation team has a website on which you can see how much of the project is translated. So right now this is the Persian translation team's website, and at the very top you see GNOME 46, which is the most recent version of GNOME, You can see that although most of it is translated, there are still parts that are not translated. So I guess if you want to do them a favor, obviously this is not as resumeable for you, but in case you want to, you can check those out. So if you click on that, you're going to get a breakdown of all the software that is translated and all of them that is not. Because Gnome, again, as I said, is the desktop environment and all the software that comes with it. So for example, we can see that Orca is only translated 50%. So you can go hop on and start translating that. So now we restart Firefox, we restore the session, and we wait. Okay, so once you upload your translations to the website, and I'll show you how to do it in a second, it's the responsibility of the coordinator of your language to do a pull request and submit your changes to the main branch. Usually they don't even need to do a pull request, they can just push directly to the main, but just know that you absolutely should not do a pull request for translation. The pull requests, or in this case the merge requests, are only meant for the code. Translations stick to the translator's website, right? Nice. Okay, now we know how that works. And some more about translation. You can translate both documentation and UI, right? So UI is, like the actual interface of the language. So as you can see, for Persian, the user interface is pretty good for Gnome 46, but the documentation is just terrible. So it's shooting out a bit. But if this was a complete picture, you'd see that like only 20% of the documentation is translated. So those are usually much less paid attention to. For the UI, you're gonna see .po files. So .po files are, I'll talk about these later, but that's the main file you're gonna be changing. Now it's your turn. So this link will go and show you a list of all the languages that have a team on Gnome. So, for example, you could go check the Spanish translation team's page and see what's translated. So just to show you how this looks, this is going to be something like this. So as you can see, a massive, truly massive list of languages. So for example, just to show you how niche this thing can become, you can see Basque, which is a language spoken in the north of Spain. I know. So let's try out Spanish. They have a Mexican Spanish. Interesting.
There's a lot of different types.
I know. But usually they just clump them together. I guess they have enough personnel to split these into different things. So for Spanish, you can see that, for example, GNOME 46 is fully translated. Actually, no, 99%. But if you click on it, you're going to see a breakdown view of what's done and what's not done. Okay, so the only two things that are not translated are translated right now. The next thing, let me see. Yeah, so if you guys want, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to go check out the languages, see what's translated, what's not translated. I know if you use Duolingo to learn a new language, maybe go check that language too. And honestly, this shouldn't take that long. You can check.
Mexican Spanish has basically nothing though.
Yeah.
For translation.
Really?
They have a
Oh.
coordinator. There's a
That could be
section
fun.
on Mexican Spanish. Yeah.
Let's
I wonder
see.
if they just use the Spanish from Spain and they just
Probably, yeah. To be honest, there's not a lot of localization between Mexican Spanish and Spain Spanish that's required.
yeah.
Because, I mean, there's probably like 5 phrases per every 10,000 phrases that need to be changed.
Yeah.
In my experience, because, I mean, I learned the formal Spanish, but I
Yeah.
mean, I can understand everything, so I'm not sure. Let's see. Mexican Spanish. Oh, no coordinator.
Yeah.
They don't even have a coordinator.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you want to be the coordinator for Mexican Spanish?
So I was gonna like do it. I think.
0%.
Reinstall my.
Absolutely every
Yeah.
single thing you do, because you're gonna run into the same problem.
Damn. Interesting.
There could be something to do this.
Let's see. Ooh, there's Yiddish. Interesting. Okay. That's also pretty miserable. What do you want to check?
Thai.
Thai? Okay, let's see. Okay, Thai. Okay, Thai. Thai, okay.
Oh wow, actually that one really needs some help.
50%. Okay.
Huh.
Let's see. That's Gnome 46, right? Yeah, 46. Yeah, honestly, this could use some help probably. Okay. So do you guys need more time with checking out the pages or not? I don't think this should take that long. Yeah. So we can continue. So there's a specific channel on Element or Matrix, whatever you want to call it, that's dedicated to I18N. So if you ever start contributing to a project and realize that, oh, hey, this is a phrase on the UI and I want to make sure that it's translatable or any such questions, you can ask those on Gnome I18N. So now that you know what I18N means, this should be pretty self-explanatory. Nice. So if you want to update a PO file, you're gonna need software. And specifically, I recommend PO Edit. So a PO file basically looks like an Excel sheet, right? On one hand, you have the English phrase in a column. On the other hand, you have the whatever language phrase. So you can, if you see that it's empty, you can take it, translate it, put it on the other side. And what's cool with software like PO Edit is that it's gonna you're gonna be able to like put all the empty fields at the very top. So it makes it easy if you have like a lot of holes in the translation. So there's that, and the UI is pretty nice. And if it's long, you can use the fields at the bottom. So, and this is gonna show you how much of it is translated. So you can always like see this as motivation if you ever need to see how much you've done. So that should be self-explanatory, but I mean, I don't think it's worth having a do-it-yourself section. So to contribute an updated PO translation, the first thing you have to do is to, and I'll do a demonstration very soon, is that you have to go to the translation team's website. Again, as I showed you, go click on Gnome 46, for example, pick a software that needs translating. You can reserve a PO file for translation. I'll show it very soon. You download the file, you use PO Edit to edit the file, and then you post your changes as a suggestion, and then you just wait for the coordinator to accept it and push it. So that would look like something like this. So say I want to translate some, okay, let's see. Say if I want to translate something in GNOME 46, say, oh damn, this really needs some translation. I can just click on it and I can reserve this for translation. So you can actually post a message. You can say, hey, I don't know, I'm gonna take 1 week to work on this and I'll upload it after that. But the message isn't necessary. I just, the last time I did the translation, I just said, okay, hey, I'm gonna handle this. And then you just click submit. So if you saw the translating tag on the Thai, or, okay, it's Thai, right?
Thai. Yeah.
Thai, okay. On the Thai translation page, that's how you add that, right? So if you add a reservation, it's gonna show as translating. So other people don't touch it. When you're done translating, you can, okay, first of all, you can download the PO file here. You can just download this, open it in PO Edit, and then make all of your changes. And then when you're done, you come to the same place, you click on upload new translation, you do a browse, select your PO file, do a message if you want, and then you just submit. So it's basically that simple, right? Then you just wait for the maintainer to accept it or whatever. Any questions so far? No? Good. Moving on. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this session. We have too much time because it's no coding, but I wish you a very contribution-full summer, and hopefully by next semester you'll know a lot more things. So thank you for attending, and have a good summer. So I assume all of you have joined Discord, so I'm just gonna leave it up there. What's up?